The U.S. military establishment was originally known as the Department of War from its inception in 1789 until 1947, when President Harry Truman renamed it the Department of Defense to reflect a shift in post-war strategic posture. U.S. President Donald Trump has stirred fresh controversy by proposing that the Pentagon be renamed the Department of War, arguing that the United States needs to project offensive strength, not just defense. Speaking from the Oval Office during a joint press conference with South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, Trump stated that the change reflects America's historical legacy and future strategic intent. When we won World War I and World War II, it was called the Department of War, Trump told reporters. And for me, that's what it really is. Everyone liked it when it was the War Department. We had an incredible history of victory. Then we changed it to the Department of Defense, and I never really liked that name. Trump, known for his bold and often controversial statements, dismissed critics who argue that such a renaming would be purely symbolic. "I don't just want to be the Department of Defense. We want to be offensive as well," he said. "We don't need Congress approval for this. We're just going to do it." The U.S. military establishment was originally known as the Department of War from its inception in 1789 until 1947, when President Harry Truman renamed it the Department of Defense to reflect a shift in post-war strategic posture. Trump, however, sees the current terminology as too passive. Flanked by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Trump critiqued the current naming convention directly during the briefing. "Pete, you started by calling it the Department of Defense, and I didn't like it," Trump said. "Are we just defense? Why are we just defense? That's why it was called the War Department before, and it was a strong name." Reinforcing his point, Trump added, "This isn't just symbolic. We don't want to be just defense, we want offense too." Trump's remarks also raised constitutional questions, as he claimed that the name change would not require congressional approval. "We can just do it," he said confidently, suggesting the administration would bypass legislative hurdles to implement the change in the coming weeks. The proposal is expected to spark sharp political debate. Supporters of Trump may view the move as a bold reaffirmation of American military strength, while critics are likely to argue that it signals an unnecessarily aggressive posture in global affairs. As Trump continues to shape national discourse ahead of the 2026 midterms and a possible 2028 presidential run, this proposal underscores his enduring focus on military strength, nationalism, and breaking away from traditional diplomatic norms. Whether the renaming of the Pentagon becomes policy or remains rhetoric, it has already reignited discussion about America's role in the world and the language it uses today.